Welcome to T's Multiverse, folks. I'm your host, Tyrus, and yeah, we're going to talk about What If, this latest episode of What If, and yeah, I gotta say this. These last few episodes of What If have been a bit dark, I gotta say. I know we're talking about alternate realities and alternate outcomes of things that happen due to decisions that are made that are ultimately decisions that may result into not so good outcomes for the characters or many of the characters involved. But man, these last three have been they've been extremely dark. So here's the hoping that we get more of a lighter toned episode on the next go round for this What If series. Stay tuned for my episodes 3 and 4. I'm going to do those together, but I wanted to make sure I got this one out and gave my thoughts on this one. Also, if you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to the channel, join Team Multiverse, hit that bell notification so that you're notified when my videos drop. Okay, now let's dive into this zombie apocalypse. Before I jump into this review, it will contain spoilers, so if you have not seen this episode, I wanted to forewarn you before I get started. Alright. With this episode involving zombies, and I'm not the biggest zombie fan, it had me on edge throughout the entire episode. Whenever you're dealing with zombies and you're dealing with what heroes are left who are enduring so much and are pushing to survive what seems extremely dire odds, which throws you within this thrilling yet suspenseful merry-go-round that ultimately has you going, okay, where are we going with this? How do we fix this thing? And are we going to see a resolution to all of this when it's all said and done? I really thought it was interesting to see how this zombie apocalypse came about in terms of looking at this alternate take on how things could have gone with Janet Van Dyne escaping the quantum realm and utilizing Ant-Man's 2 quantum realm story arc as a catalyst for the zombie virus, which was an extremely ingenious direction that they decided to go with within this story arc. So you have Michael Douglas's Hank Pym's character entering the quantum realm to save his wife, yet when he gets there, she's infected. She's this zombie. She kills him, jumps back into the pod, arrives within her reality. She takes out Scott Lang. Hope, her daughter, escapes and is able to regroup with the remaining heroes of this reality. If you notice, they're utilizing the Ant-Man characters in the last few episodes, so that may be some sort of a prelude to what we may be seeing, that we're going to be seeing more Ant-Man in the next phase. We do have Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania coming up, which I'm really looking forward to. But the take on Janet Van Dyne being infected within the quantum realm was pretty interesting. And just how everything just tied into the Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame story arcs was pretty cool. Interesting to see how they utilized that part, or Infinity War, where the Incredible Hulk was transported from that Asgardian ship that was taken over by Thanos, yet he was transferred to another reality which had the zombie apocalypse. So really cool take on everything. I like how everybody was utilized for the most part. I think there were some parts in the story where they were trying to be a little too jokey, especially with Spider-Man, as well as with maybe Happy. Scott Lang was a little too jokey. Besides that, it was really cool. There were some sad moments. You're losing Sharon Carter and then Wasp and then Okoye, with some pretty sad losses for the team. Of course, they lost the core Avengers that came in through the film. You know, Cap, Iron Man, you lost a lot of those guys to twist with T'Challa surviving the apocalypse. They still played up to that whole Hulk did not want to come out early on, but then when they really needed him, he did come out. He bought the team time to get away, utilizing the Mind Stone as the cure for the zombie virus was very clever. I like that. So, I mean, throughout this whole episode, though dark, there was a lot of things to really enjoy within the episodes. So I did like the twist towards the end involving Vision as well as Wanda. One of the things I was looking to see is if Wanda was infected. And if she was infected, I was like, man, everybody's in some serious trouble because she's just so powerful. And I just knew it would present a huge problem for the team. So Vision had the Scarlet Witch hidden within his facility. And anybody else that sought refuge there was taking in, or he was gathering up people who was infected and curing them with the Mind Stone. But in doing so, he was utilizing them as food for Wanda, which was insane, man. But the remaining Avengers were able to locate his facility. Ultimately, he had a change of heart in terms of how he was going about doing things. He gave them the Mind Stone by literally ripping it out of his head, pretty much mirroring what Thanos did to him towards the end of Infinity War. And in parting with the Mind Stone, he provided the team with it so that they can move forward with curing everybody that's been infected. The star of this whole episode was the Cloak of Levitation, that Doctor Strange's cloak. Man, that it was the best. It most definitely saved both Bruce Banner and Spider-Man a number of times throughout this episode. I really love what the MCU has done with the Cloak of Levitation, to where it's given it this consciousness, it's given it a personality, really adds a sense of humor. It most definitely adds that extra sense of excitement as well as interest to any story that is featured in, for sure. And the late great Chadwick Boseman, what can I say? I mean, he turned in yet another phenomenal performance as T'Challa, aka the Black Panther. The words that he spoke in regards to how death was not the end. There was something in his voice that spoke true to not just the T'Challa character, but to who he was as a person. And he's a true warrior and a real life superhero. And his legacy will live on forever. So this episode ends on a bit of a cliffhanger, which I really didn't care for, folks. Our remaining heroes are headed back to Wakanda to pretty much regroup and to work towards utilizing the Power Stone to cure everybody. And you got to remember, this does follow the events of Infinity War, so you have Thanos out there. They show a cutscene of Thanos with an almost completed Infinity Gauntlet who's been infected. So you have a mad Titan that's been infected, and behind him, he has an army of infected individuals who are all attempting to break through the barriers of Wakanda. So that's where we're at right now with this episode. That doesn't bode too well for our heroes. I know we're getting a season 2 of What If. However, we don't really get to see a resolution to the events of this episode. So the question for me is, do we get a sequel, or is that where we leave it? What if we do get a resolution or part 2 to this episode? Who knows? Stay tuned. So there you have it, folks. Again, I'm not into the whole zombie thing. That has never been my cup of tea. However, Marvel Studios really made this episode work for me in terms of how they're able to weave all of the stories from the MCU within the fabrics of this What If series. It's really made it a really intriguing yet entertaining experience for me overall, and I really look forward to seeing what they bring to the table moving forward within this series. Let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on this episode? Was it your favorite? Was it your least favorite? Interested to see what your take is on this episode. Also, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. I'd love for you to join Team Multiverse. Hit that bell notification so that you're notified when my videos drop. Smash that like button. I appreciate it if you did all that. And until next time, be good to one another, be safe, stay tuned, and beware of zombies. Until next time, folks. Bye for now.